You know, I could see one of us settling down in a place like this.
Are you sure it has enough pillows for you?
Just spruce it up, you know, it could use a splash of color over there. The fuck has happened? How did... Alright, where's the wellspring?
Standing in this open entryway, 35 floors up, in this beautiful tower made of stones and crafted from magic, and you are standing, like I said, in this entryway, and in front of you is High Magus Giller and another female mage behind him, and he's standing there staring directly at you specifically, Sir Roland, especially. And he asks exactly that. What is your purpose here?
Orlo takes a short sidestep away.
I'm gonna quickly clear my throat, and I'm gonna walk up and smack Roland on the back of the head, and I'm gonna be like, "I'm so sorry. He's our hired help. He's just protecting us on our travels. We're here to do some research about the severance, and you can just ignore him."
Roland,
go ahead and make a deception check, Laya.
Can I give her a hand with this by acting the part and be like, Professor, I told you we should have never hired him. He's all muscle and no brain.
Go ahead and roll with advantage, Laya.
Are you sure I can't do persuasion?
I am sure, because you are just lying.
Oh, maybe I should have did the deception.
With advantage.
No.
That's a 12.
Okay.
You don't have to roll. It's fine.
So Roland kind of sees all this happening. He sees everybody stumbling over themselves, oh well, he's our hired help, and I'm a professor, blah blah blah. And Roland steps forward, and he's blushing. He's embarrassed that he kind of got caught in this moment. He goes, I apologize. All of you stop. I have not hired help. She is not a professor. First and foremost, I would like to apologize. That was not very knightly of me. That sort of conduct. I want you to know that we have had a hard journey to get here. And any venting I was doing reflect my personal opinions, and certainly not my official position as a Chevalier of the Fleur Blanc, or as someone who has been charged with a quest which chiefly concerns your city. You see, my company and I we've been charged with undoing the severance. And what that largely has to do with are magical wellspring located around the land. And we are under the impression that Cedric Valor is the location of one. So we were hoping to learn more about that. And again, I'm very sorry. I meant no personal offense. Simply venting from a hard journey on the
Emmerin is just going to pipe up Roland, you're from the Fleur Blanc? Professor, did you know this?
Please forgive my companion. He is my companion.
So he stands there, listens to you for a moment, Sir Roland, and he kind of looks you up and down, and he looks at the group. And he takes a deep breath, kind of composes himself a little bit. And you can see him kind of bow his head a little bit, and he goes, "Thank you. Very well. I have been dealing with quite a lot around here, and I myself have not conducted myself accordingly. I also apologize." He gives you a slight bow, and he introduces himself. He goes, "I'm Gilla. I am High Magus, and I also run this city. Well, to the best of my ability. I manage people who do a lot of that for me, but it is my burden to bear. And you said you're here to investigate the wellspring, which you are correct, is located within our walls. What do you intend to do about it?"
Well, I Magus, if I may, I have to find the voice again. I'm probably going to go through Russian, French, and then back into whatever it is Emmerin happens to be. So please bear with me. Hi, Magus. Have you noted any? Is there anything not right in the area magically, as it were? As it were, is there anyone acting peculiar? People disappearing? Anything magically not working anymore? Maybe something working too well? No.
He pauses for a moment. No. Things here have been quite good, quite prosperous.
Well,
He's in on it.
well, essentially, what we have been charged with doing is we were given a cleansing ritual, and were tasked with performing these rituals on all of the well springs.
Interesting.
If we were to give you a little bit more background as well, we did come from one which was in Elmenhof a while back. See, I got some memory in there. That we found was corrupted by the wants of a young lady, effectively, and we're not quite sure how it's happening. All we know is that there's some entity by the name of the Eternal Thunder who is looking to harness these well springs.
I've never heard of her.
How unlikely is that? Is there? Can I insight check him?
Yeah, go ahead.
I do remember that she's a very minor, divine character.
Yeah,
Face is a very minor divine character.
Thank you.
So Roland, you've definitely rolled for this before, and you have seen her name in bits and pieces here and there, but never anything extensive. And largely speaking, at least especially for you, you know that it was more in a religious context than a magical context. So at least for your purposes, Sir Roland, it wouldn't be absurd that he hadn't heard of her. Did you get a 3?
I rolled a 16 for insight. Would it be too late to tell if he was lying when he said that nothing was wrong with their wellspring?
Yeah. So as far as you can tell, He's being pretty genuine with you right now. You can see that he's still maybe a little worked up and maybe a little flustered, but you don't get the note that it's about you as much anymore, or Sir Roland specifically. But he seems to be genuinely telling the truth.
Orlo like steps back in, like takes a short step back in, and is like, "So there hasn't been anything curious going on in this city, outside of the ordinary, like drunk rats dancing in the streets, someone suddenly making a lot more money out of nowhere, nothing weird going
Gee,
on."
Orlo, if only someone had asked him that already.
You didn't ask him that. You asked him if there was anything magical going on that was different.
That is true.
It's true.
I said, has anybody gone missing? Is anybody acting weird? Is anybody a drunk rat dancing in the streets? Counts as, is anybody acting weird?
He kind of gets the sense that you guys are you're looking for something, obviously. And he kind of just looks at the group of you and goes, nothing here has been wrong. We feel like we've gotten a pretty good grasp on the situation after what had happened previously.
Would it be possible to see the wellspring? Would you be willing to show it to us?
He kind of takes a step over and he looks out the window and he looks down at the ground for a moment. And you can see him kind of like muttering to himself for a moment. And he's like, I suppose I have a few moments extra to spare. We luckily don't have to go very far. But certainly, we might as well.
Splendid.
He looks at the group of you and just kind of strolls gently past you and steps on the pad, and you just see him disappear.
Roland, as soon as he leaves, Roland goes, "Phew, that was close. Almost got sent to the, what did he say? Hell dimension? I heard hell.
Perhaps you should just keep your angry rants more for, more in private.
I suppose that may be prudent in this town." And Roland like sweeps his hand to like let Laya go on the elevator pad ahead of him.
And I will do so.
You guys, as you step on, you kind of do the same thing. You disappear, reappear in a different room. And as you guys all make your way down into this room, it is a large cavernous space, much like the previous wellspring was in, if you remember. This one, however, has really been taken care of, if you will. The walls have been adorned with gold and marbles and beautiful paintings and things. The floors are polished and gorgeous. Everything has been... It's been turned into more of almost a temple than it is what you had seen initially, which was just this place that exists in the world that has not been touched. This one very much has been.
Is there Draconic up on the wall like there was in the last
one? In this specific room, no. You guys haven't even gotten to where it is yet. So you're just in this big, like, open internal room that is just kind of got a big door that's like, this way to the wellspring. You know what I mean? Kind of.
Yeah. A foyer.
The wellspring foyer. Yes, there you go.
Roland's like kind of hanging back at the back of the group, and he elbows Emmerin and he goes, "Nice dig."
Sorry, what did you say? Nice digs. You know, I could see one of us settling down at a place like this.
Are you sure it has enough pillows for you?
Just spruce it up. You know, it could use a splash of color over it. The fuck has happened? How did? All right, where's the wellspring?
A few steps ahead of you, you see Giller kind of just making his way through, going up to the doors, and you see him as he approaches them. He just waves his hand, and they start to slowly creak open. The internal. Go ahead.
Roland follows him, and as he walks through, he makes sure that Giller's not looking behind him. And as he approaches the door, he goes, and he like waves his hand.
The people that are like helping him out, is this like a help done out of reverence, out of respect, or is it like, oh fuck, Killer's coming?
Go ahead and either give me a perception or an insight real quick.
Quick perception. How's a 26?
It looks like there is a certain amount of reverence that it is, but it definitely appears more of the sense of they respect who he is and what he does, more so than it's just the position that is held.
Okay. All right.
So as these doors slowly open, you make your way through, and the opposite side of these doors is a little bit more natural, I guess, is a good word. The walls are still stone, and to answer your previous question, there are still some of the scrawlings in this ancient draconic that is scrawled through all the stonework. And then sitting in the middle of this room is a small plinth fountain style adornment, and just a kind of almost a bird bath well that sits on top of it, and that's it. There's nothing else in here. Go ahead and all of you make a perception check for me, though.
Dirty 20.
I presume Sir Roland rolled exceptionally well.
It's a 4. I got it.
I got a 14.
A 4.
11.
Okay. So Emmerin, out of everybody in here, you're the first person that would notice this, and it has something, I'm sure, to do with your knack for hunting things and what you've seen. But you, as you walk into this room, you feel a very overwhelming feeling of just this magical presence, but you don't see anything else. And it's not the same thing that you felt previously. It is
Fiend or undead?
It is definitely different here, but no.
Oh, fuck.
Sir Roland,
Why
actually,
is it
give me
never
a
the things I'm good at
religion check
hunting?
as well, please?
I'm sorry, what kind of check?
Religion, please.
Oh, absolutely.
Never the things that I'm supposed to be hunting, Ducky. Never. Just one Fae. Just one.
11.
Ducky
Wait,
throws
sorry,
an archfey at me.
9. 9, gentlemen's 9. I'm getting the bad ones out of the way early.
Yeah. The group of you that had been at the previous Wellspring, you guys all know kind of what it felt like, what it looked like. And this one looks mostly the same, but it definitely does have a different feeling. You can't put your finger on it quite what it is, but it's not the same.
Yeah, Roland, since they walked in the room, has stopped being a smartass, and he's just like staring at this wellspring. He's thinking back to the last one when he touched the little bit of water, and then like was flooded with this this incredible power that caused him to like pass out. And he's kind of like his hand is like down at his side, and he's like clenching his fist and unclenching it and clenching his fist and just staring at this wellspring.
Can I make out what any of the draconic says? Like, is it just the same as the other one?
Did you guys actually make any notes exactly of what it was, or like?
Yeah.
So
I seem to remember you at least tried to take some like rubbings or something of that nature.
It sounds like something we said, but
So you gave us a few words. I wrote down magic, deep, water, power, and life.
Then yes, it is.
that's some good notes.
Organized, baby. But yes, it is exactly the same. They are the same words, the same carvings. Everything looks, at least to your recollection, exactly the same, but it feels very different in here.
Orlo's gonna pipe up and talk to Giller and like kind of look over and be like, "So, can you show us how it works?"
How it works.
Yeah, it's got to do something, right?
I mean, yes, it fuels the world with magic. That's kind of what it does.
Yeah, but how does it work?
Pull a rabbit out of a hat.
Oh yeah, magic man, fucking do something magic. He kind of like, he just looks at you for a moment in just almost this amazement and just awe, and he's like, yes, you're not from here. You very clearly don't wield. And he kind of like looks through the group of you and like, don't wield. And he kind of pauses at Laya for a second and he goes, magic, but you understand what you're looking for. We have taken measures to ensure that things here stay moderated, if you will.
And there haven't been any suspicious activity around there or threats that against the wellspring?
Not since things were handled, no.
Could you elaborate a little on that? So what do you mean by things were handled, if you don't mind us asking? We're not trying to impose, but
We're trying
kind
to
of
impose.
it's kind of our job.
This is our quest after all, yeah?
Go ahead and give me persuasion with advantage.
Me or
Can
him?
she do it?
Either one of you, but yes.
Carry the one.
31.
Fuck you, bounded accuracy.
He just... I suppose what harm could it do? After the events of the severance, we thought it pertinent to take measures in order to ensure that what we did here and the people that lived in our city remained safe. As you can see, magic here still exists, and we have no issues with it. We found a partner who was beneficial in helping us manage the flow of the power from this location to the world, and it has been working so far so well.
Who would that partner be?
We were approached by an envoy from a local city that also shared concerns about things that had occurred, and we felt that it was a mutual alliance that we would both benefit from.
Let me go out on a limb here. Was your envoy from Black Record, and was the envoy from the Church of the Eternal Reign?
Yes.
Aha. Okay. All right. Hold on while I make the note that Laya broke the game with a 31 in persuasion.
Roland, this whole time, has not looked over to the conversation. He's still looking at the wellspring. But when the Church of the Eternal Reign comes up, he kind of perks up and goes, "What specifically was your agreement, Church?"
We spent several years formulating a unique form of magic to ensure that things here stayed in a stable condition. We took a combination of our greatest minds and theirs, and we melded our knowledge and theirs into something very experimental that has not been done before. The fusion of the divine and arcane.
See.
Remember when I said, "Can you show us how it works?" This is what I was talking about.
Yeah, the whole the fusion, the arcane, the divine. That's what I'm talking about. I love
Also,
it.
a couple quick questions. This binding ritual that Sorith and Avram taught us, about how long does it take to do?
It takes a few hours, about 4, roughly, provided you do it correctly.
And is it just us in the room with Giller, or are other people here?
No, it's just you 5.
Okay.
Roland takes a step toward the wellspring and he says, Do you know who I could maybe speak with about the divine nature of this enchantment? Religious scholar. There's some interest."
But I'm sure that a meeting could be arranged, certainly.
Oh, that would be lovely.
And Roland, who do you think that was gonna be?
Roland, like he takes another step toward the wellspring. It's like you're talking to a wall, and he starts taking his gauntlet off.
Roland, don't.
What? Excuse me. Sorry. Itchy. And he turns around and like walks back toward the group.
You all right?
Yeah. No, never better.
So that cleansing ritual that I mentioned, would you be open to us going ahead and doing that ritual here? I know you said nothing is wrong, but if we've been charged with performing these rituals on all of them, we can just go ahead and check this one off our list, you know?
I wouldn't be opposed to it, although I would have to see the ritual and ensure that, for obviously the safety of my city and my people, that everything is acceptable, have it looked at and reviewed. Provided that is acceptable with you all.